So, welcome everybody, and welcome to the Buddhist Recovery Network Academy. I am Susanna, joining you from Tampere, Finland. I'm not in Helsinki at the moment, so I'm working in Tampere, and I will be your host today. I'm a big fan of Buddhism recovery and Buddhist recovery. I facilitate both 8-step recovery meetings and mindfulness-based addiction recovery courses here in Finland. I'm a member of the board of the Buddhist Recovery Network. So we have Beth doing the tech today. Thanks for your generosity, Beth. And if you have any technical questions, you can send them directly to her. And our main thing today, why we are here, is that we have the new Academy teaching offered by Fresh Lev White. The pronouns are he, him, and love. And the topic of teaching is equanimity and compassion for precarious times. Thanks everyone for being here and being part of our community today. I will tell you a little bit about Lev and the teaching in just a moment. All of our teachings are given freely, and we are blessed with some amazing teachers like Lev today, who have experience on the cushion, experience working with body, speech, and mind, experience in the ongoing practice of recovery by the way of Dharma. As we practice the Buddha's teaching of generosity, we invite you to give dana that will be given to support our ongoing Buddhist Recovery Network meetings and to support the teacher. You can give on one-time or recurring basis using the link that Beth has kindly posted to the chat field. Please be sure to indicate that your donation is for the Academy, and we sincerely thank you for your generosity. And if you forget to mention that it's for the Academy, we direct all the donations, all the dana that comes right before this session, during the session, and right after, we direct them for the Academy. So, I'd like to introduce our guest teacher for today. I'm about to say all the time tonight because it's 8 p.m. here in Finland, but for today. So Fresh Lev White is a love and compassion activist. He offers mindfulness, mediation, and diversity trainings as tools for shifting towards more authentic, conscious, and passionate living. He teaches and writes about how unconditional love and self-compassion are the ultimate gateways to honoring and understanding others, thus healing our communities and our planet. And the teaching title for today is Equanimity and Compassion for Precarious Times. Welcome, Lev. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Susanna. It's wonderful to be here. Hello, everybody. I'm curious, and you don't have to respond, but I did go to Vimalasara's and I think it's Kevin Hart's retreat in earlier this year. Were any of you there? That was a beautiful retreat at Big Bear in California. So I'm really glad to be here today, and I think what I want to do is take a chunk of our time to meditate, and I'll talk a little, and then we get to share. So I'd like to offer you an opportunity to begin to settle into where you are. And just taking this time now to settle in and settle back. I was listening this morning to a talk by Thich Nhat Hanh, and his reminding that all we have to do is be here in this moment now. That whatever is here and present with us, that if we can ground, whether it's in our breath, other places in our bodies, sounds, it allows us the ability to be with it. For those of you who are interested and able, you may decide that you want to get up and walk or pace. That's totally fine. I'll ring this bell for our official beginning, but I'm going to share a little bit as we go deeper. And hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm trying without headphones today. I'm sure you've heard this from many teachers that one of the practices that can help bring us present and clear us from worry or fear is simply to begin with gratitude. Of course, we are all suffering. There are ways that we are suffering. And perhaps we can begin by acknowledging that we chose to be here now together. Every day is a new beginning, and so is every breath. And it might be hard for some, I can imagine that feeling, but for others, we might be grateful that we get to begin again with each breath and each moment. Inhaling being the first thing that our bodies experience outside of the womb. Every new breath can be seen as a new birth. Every new breath can be seen as love coming in, life validating us. As we're exhaling, allowing ourselves to fall towards the hug of the planet. Letting the planet hold you as it is meant to be. If you're noticing sensations in your body, you might be grateful for that. Pain, ease, comfort, just the awareness might be something that we can have gratitude for. We might acknowledge that there is suffering on many degrees and levels happening in this moment. And if you are safe in this moment, you may simply offer gratitude for being safe in this moment. And aware that we are all having different experiences, and even safety can mean different things to different people. Those of us who do feel safe may offer, may you feel safe in this moment. May all of us feel safe in this moment. And if you have grounded in some way and can sense your breath coming in and out, notice if there's blockages. You don't have to do anything, just notice the cadence of the breath. Full for you might be only the top of your throat, for others the full diaphragm. Just notice. Some of us who may experience discomfort with the breath might notice if we have the privilege of what we're hearing. Giving thanks for the sound of hearing, the ability to hear. Again, coming back to our sensations. Simply noticing and allowing. And at any time, being able to offer yourself compassion for any pain or discomfort you're experiencing. This can be part of your practice. And taking a moment to notice and acknowledge your heart. Noticing or acknowledge, even if we can't do anything in this moment, what is there? We might choose to put our hands on our hearts or our bellies and offer ourselves comfort in this way. There might be immense joy happening as well. So we might also simply be holding that, acknowledging that, as it may impact our ability to stay present, just noticing. I'll go into silence and just once again invite you to accept that the breath coming in is the validation that you are enough. The breath coming in is life itself loving you. The breath coming in says that you are worthy. And you're particularly worthy of your own care. As we prepare to come into the space together, let us first acknowledge our coming to practice. There is no good or bad practice, but simply showing up to practice. We might acknowledge the power of practicing in community and offer ourselves a little gratitude for showing up for ourselves and each other. May we all be grateful for this opportunity to practice and be kind with ourselves, how our practice progressed. Thank you for your presence and your practice. I could tell myself how quickly I moved into it, how much I needed it myself. And I'm just going to take a few minutes to share what's on my heart and leave some space for you to share. And if it's okay with you, I might respond to any concerns that come up. So I'll ask you each individually. I was thinking earlier about this, I don't know if we call it a question or not, that we may have all heard about if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there, does it make a sound? And when I was a kid, I would think, well, what about the bodies of the beetles and the birds and the snakes and the life that responds to weather and sound? I don't believe that there's anything that impacts one of us that doesn't impact all of us in some way. We were talking after I signed on about being in different countries and how, unfortunately, this election that's happening in the United States will impact each and every one of us here. We're on this planet. I dated somebody for a while and we would fantasize about leaving California because of the smoke that we experienced. Fortunately, I don't know how, not this year. May it remain so, and not last year. But the years before was so insane. And as we're in our fantasy about moving, we're watching images of the smoke at that time, moving from California to New Mexico, to Chicago, and to New York, and waking up to this idea is that anything that happens on this planet in some way impacts all of us. I heard a scientist talk maybe a year or so ago about how it takes about a year for our breath to come back to us. And we rarely think about how we're always breathing each other in. We spend so little time thinking about breathing in each other's. We shed skin all day. We shed about 1,100 hairs a day throughout our body, so we're probably breathing in some of those. May sound a little gross, but that's life. Dogs, cats, the works, right? Everything that's in the air. We're breathing each other in, and all the while talking about how different we are and how we don't like each other, or what we don't like about each other, or don't understand, or don't respect. I just returned late last night from canvassing, and I'm sure you all know what that means, but I was going out door to door, talking to people, and there was a lot of pain that I experienced. I don't think I'll do it again, and I'll share why another time. But the part about people being so confused because of the way that the media is, um, it's like they just don't trust anything. Like they don't trust anyone, and they don't trust anything. And I've been practicing this for a pretty long time, and that is, I don't shame someone for not sharing my opinion, because I've been shamed for that. And instead, I can hold space and compassion and learn why they're feeling what they're feeling, and not even try to change them. It's almost like I can't imagine a peaceful world and live violently, or I can imagine it and live violently, but I can't think that I'm going to attain one. Everything is impactful. There are a couple of the people that I talk to that I think will vote in what I believe is their best interest, right? Because then that's what I believe, but giving space for what they believe. So let me get to the topic. I'll try to like squeeze in the topics. And one of them, well, something came up to me for me yesterday. What I was practicing was wise understanding. And wise understanding is like this. It's like you disagree with me, but I'm listening with ears and hearts of curiosity, or heart with curiosity and compassion, because I know that you're in fear and suffering. All of us are trying to survive. All of us. There's not a being that's making a decision that doesn't think it's going to help them survive. And unfortunately, we have manipulators of all kinds of in every area that that can bring us confusion and bring us more pain. So how do we at least meet our families and our communities and our coworkers with this idea that they're doing the best they can based on all of the mashup of information that they may be carrying along with their own suffering? Because it requires letting the ego go. It requires dropping the ego and getting into a place of humility when we're hearing somebody else's suffering. I can't hear your suffering and be in this like you're wrong place the whole time. I'm not actually listening. I can listen through my heart. I don't have to agree with you. That's the peace part. That's the compassion part. So as Thich Nhat Hanh was part of the more of what I listened to about him this morning, two things that I'll say is, one is how we can push away fear and push away anxiety, and we don't want to be with it. But as I started the meditation, that it's sort of like just be in your practice. Everything rises and falls away. The fear will fall away. It may return, but in our practice, we're allowing it to fall away. And accepting what is part of the work that we're doing. I know for me in my recovery journey, if I can't accept that my codependence is easily triggered, then I'm just gonna like go wild with it. I met this woman, I don't know if it was yesterday morning or at some point during canvassing, and she had all of it. Single mom, just divorced, and has to pay alimony because she had a job during COVID. And she's like, I'm eating this sandwich, this ice cream sandwich, because this is what I have. And I totally believed her. And I was like, how can I slip her some bucks? Like, how do I get her? I mean, I went on for 24 hours. But because of my recovery work, I worked myself through it. And, I'm not going to do anything. And I totally came to understanding what I said to her before I left, which is, if you have a higher power, keep talking to it, keep talking to them. So accepting, and I think in there is accepting and going to our resource for support. And that's not exactly everything that equanimity is, but this talk is short, and I want to make sure I can provide some space for you. Being alive is some serious work. Being alive as a human is like, it's some serious, like, we don't know why we're here. Some of us are in a continual state of discovering what we're supposed to be doing here, and how we serve, and what we serve, and who we serve, and on, while others of us are just like in our day-to-day. Some of us just oblivious to everything. So what else could we do but meet that with compassion? How can you not have compassion for yourself when you didn't create this whole experience? With compassion, we can allow ourselves to see how we're impacting the experience, how we're impacting ourselves, the world around us, what we're bringing in. Choosing peace and going out and watching a violent movie or playing a violent game is not, it sort of zeroes out the peace vision. Practicing compassion and being impatient with someone who is really themselves trying to figure it all out is not compassion. So particularly for those of us in the United States, but everywhere in the world, you may have heard this story about Thich Nhat Hanh shares about, I don't know if you call it a story, but it's a metaphor that it only takes one person to be calm or stable on the boat of fear and panic in the rough seas to calm everybody down. And the question that we get to ask ourselves each morning or throughout the day with each breath we're renewing is, who do we want to be at this time? Who do you want to be in this moment? Do you want to be peace? My pronouns are he, they, and love, all of which I feel I embody fully, all of which I believe are just a part of me. So I don't try to block them. I don't try to block being love. I don't question it, actually, even. But I am aware, of course, if I'm not being loving, and I get playful with femininity at times, I'm aware of all of it, and I choose to be it. It means I'm committed all day, 24/7, to be love and compassion. Who do you want to be at this time? And the last thing I'll say, this is so much I want to say. The last thing I'll say is that the most important thing that you can do to support yourself and the people around you is to continue practicing in community, is to check in and talk to your Sangha, to check in and listen to and share with others in recovery. We need each other in order to create the world that we believe is possible, or else we wouldn't be here. The world that we believe that we deserve, that each other deserves. So for the sake of time, I'm going to stop talking. And I understand that I said lots of different things and went lots of different places, but I hope that something reached some of you. Sort of like maybe somebody got a little bit of something somewhere. So we've got 10 minutes and the clock is ticking. And I'd love to hear your wisdom or any questions or comments you may have.
Thanks, Lev. And at this point, I want to remind everybody that you can ask question or share your wisdom by writing it to the chat, sending it to everybody if you want everybody to see it, or sending it directly to me or to Lev, or you can use the raise hand option, or just wave your hand, old school, if you want to share. So anybody who wants to share, feel free. And I have to say that I really liked being alive is some serious work. That was so
True.
yes. Julie R. from Oregon says that I say the serenity prayer very often.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
And when we are waiting for maybe some questions or comments, I could ask you, because I know that we have people who are very new to Buddhism and might be very new. Okay, Maria, you go ahead. I
Yeah,
say
but I want to
mine.
hear your question too, Susanna.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask your insight on, you were talking about accepting what is. What does it for you, what does that mean, like in practice? How
Beautiful
can
question.
you in practice accept what is?
Right. Thank you so much. A beautiful question. So acknowledging, for example, I gave the example of I know that I'm a codependent, and so I have to accept that. I have to accept that I cannot stop what's happening in Palestine or Sudan or anywhere else where there is war. That doesn't mean accepting does not mean I'm okay with it. Accepting does not mean I like it, but being in the acceptance of it gives me an opportunity to respond wisely, whether in action and word, whether in word or deed. So that's the purpose of really being able to be grounded and be in acceptance. And that might mean that right now I have nothing to say, and that's okay too. We keep practicing, and we can offer from our even the heart energy of practice. May there be peace. May there be peace. For example, in this situation, accepting that our parents don't like us or are not being kind to us or not being well with us allows us to consider offering ourselves compassion, being kind to ourselves for any response that comes out of that. And perhaps we will eventually get to a place for having compassion for them, for the harm that causes them to cause harm. Thank you for that question. We're
And
gonna respect your time. Yeah.
thank you for that wise answer. Time to start wrapping up. I
Okay.
sent you an anonymous comment, and
Yes.
maybe I can say something from that in our rooms, that connection is an antidote for addiction.
That's
So
right.
that's
And
very,
suffering
very,
in general.
yeah, 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 it is.
Yes.
So thank you, Lev. Much gratitude for these wise words. It was so beautiful and such important reminders. And I really loved how you exemplified taking space in the, closing eyes and taking breaths. I just loved it. And yeah, so let's move forward. We are going to keep the room open for a few minutes after, so you can get all the links. You don't have to worry or rush. So I'm going to say a few words about Dana. So your generosity can help to strengthen the recovery community and the Growth Academy, and can be a practical expression of gratitude and metta. We invite you to practice generosity, to give Dana in support of these teachings, to be shared with our teacher and with the Buddhist Recovery Network. And Beth has again kindly posted some links to the chat that you can use for giving the Dana. And then we have a Facebook group. And please answer the membership questions to join, because otherwise we will not accept you. It's for the cause of safety. And the next BRN Academy event is on Sunday, the 1st of December, with Limala Sara. I'm sure that they need no introduction, but yeah, just be there. It's gonna be amazing. And then I'm just yeah, I'm removing spotlight from, so we can see the whole community here. Then there are podcasts and videos of the Academy teachings that Beth is also posting to the chat field, the links to them. And there is also a weekly Buddhist recovery meeting. The type of the meeting changes weekly, and you can check the schedule on the web page using the link that is in the chat as well. And then, very important thing in our community is, of course, transferring the merit. So thank you for joining us today. May the merit we have gained go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings. May we all be happy. May we all be peaceful. May we all be safe. And like said, we will keep the room open for a few moments, but if you're about to exit, you can open your mic and say bye-byes. I think that it's allowed now. And maybe, Lev, you want to check the chat field. There might be some thank yous in there, and feedback as well if people want to write some stuff in there.
Thank you,
Thank you, everybody.
for allowing me. Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks for
so
hosting.
much. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Lev. It was a pleasure hosting.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I a little bit got to know you, so hopefully
I
we'll
hope
meet
that
in
you
person
get
one
some.
day.
I hope you get some
Yeah,
good rest tonight. Oh, should I stay
yeah,
on for any questions, or this is usually it?
yeah. This is usually it. So I
Great.
mean, if somebody has got a question, and you want to stay, but I don't know how long Beth is. Beth already? Oh,
No,
Beth
I'm
is
here.
there. Yes, yeah.
I
So
wanted to say too, we had 2 people try to join the Facebook page without answering the questions. If they're still here, please try again.
thank you, error. Yeah, it's such a shame, because it's always nice to have people in there. So yeah, and yes, I'm gonna start going to bed, if it's okay, Beth, for you.
No worries.
And
Thank you.
yeah, Lev, hopefully you come again next year.
Thank
We
you.
will be reaching out with Beth. So
Yeah. And I love
we
that.
want to.
Is that a painting next to you? Is it a cloth? Let's.
Oh, it's a curtain.
Oh, wow.
It's so beautiful, isn't it? I kind
Yes,
of
it
like.
is.
I kind of like.
I couldn't tell what it
Yeah,
was. Yeah, it's yeah, it's great.
yeah. It's very nice. It's Airbnb, so
Nice. Okay.
You can't
tonight.
take it with you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like, oops. Okay, take
All right.
care.
Take
Take care.
care.
Bye,
Bye.
Susanna.